Next breaking story, Iran has long denied that it is directly involved in the Syrian civil war, but that, as you are about to see, is a lie. Tonight, CBS News has photographic proof that Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard is engaged in combat alongside Syrian forces to put down a popular revolt that began 2.5 years ago. Here's why it matters. A human rights group reported today that the death toll there has reached 120,000, including nearly 43,000 civilians. And the State Department is telling us 1/3 of Syrians have now lost their homes, the equivalent of 100 million Americans being displaced. We've seen rare pictures of Iranian advisors in Syria before, but we haven't seen them fighting like this. Elizabeth Palmer has the proof.
Here they are, members of the elite Revolutionary Guards on the front lines of Syria's civil war. The video was shot by Hadi Bagbani, a Tehran cameraman invited to film a guard unit under the command of 33-year-old Mohsen Ismail Haidari. He offers a guided tour on camera of his battle sector on the outskirts of Aleppo. Haidari has spent 8 of the past 18 months here, and the local kids now know he's good for a handout of candy. In this Revolutionary Guard unit, there are about a dozen soldiers, specialists in communications, in weapons, and even a cleric to lead the soldiers in prayer. The unit lives in a former school that now functions as their base. Haidari, relaxed and confident, describes how just 24 hours ago they fought off a rebel attack. 150 of them came here in vehicles, he said, but we hit back and killed 15, and they had to retreat. The Revolutionary Guard's main job here is to make hardened fighters of these Syrians, civilian men armed by President Bashar al-Assad to beef up the overstretched military. And the Iranians are starting with basics. Get your head down, says the lieutenant. You'll get it blown off if you stand up there. In this scene, the Iranians are taking the Syrians out into rebel territory on a reconnaissance mission. But what the men don't know as they get into position is that the rebels have spotted them, and they've prepared an ambush. These are the rebels. They filmed their own offensive, and once they start shooting, the Iranians realize they're in trouble, running out of ammunition and pinned down by enemy fire, outflanked. Suddenly, the camera goes to black. The cameraman and Commander Haidari were killed, and both were mourned at elaborate funerals back in Iraq.
And Elizabeth is joining us now in London. Elizabeth, what difference has the Iranian force made to the Syrian dictatorship in its fight against the rebels?
Well, it's been decisive. Not only have Iranian-backed militias turned the tide of fighting in the government's favor in several key battles, but also this year alone, Iran has lent Syria more than $3.5 billion to buy oil, without which the country probably would have collapsed by now.
An eye-opening story. Elizabeth, thank you very much.